Alright, back again, Luke here, and today what I want to do is show you guys some things or some hardware that I've picked up here to help me repair some of these arcade boards, and some hardware that I think that many of you guys will actually find useful yourselves. And first of all, that is this. This is the GQ-4X USB programmer. Now what this is useful for is basically any of the EPROMs that you have, or the EEPROMs for arcade boards, or anything that uses EPROMs. You can use this here as a programmer, eraser, and a reader. And this will actually read a lot of the EPROMs that you have in major arcade boards and other kinds of circuitry. So I picked this up recently. I've used it a couple of times and it works fantastic. There are different versions of this board here. I wound up getting this one from MCUmall. And that's something that if you type it into Google you can find it. This programmer here was reasonably priced, but I did get some extra adapters to go along with it. The programmer itself came with this USB cable, which you need in order to plug it into the PC. It came with a CD, but this CDR really doesn't do anything that anything useful. If you don't have internet, this is useful because it'll allow you to set the programmer up. But if you do have the internet, the best thing to do is go to the website and download the drivers for this. Download the program first, and then install the hardware, and you'll be all set to go. So only install this one when you don't have access to the internet. So if not, you have to uninstall this and then install the new stuff, and it's just a hassle. But some other things that I got here, I got some DAC chip programming adapters here for this. And unfortunately, some of these are really small, so they don't do the jobs that I'll need them to do. Like some of the ones here, I actually got a couple of sets for it. I thought I could get a really big one, so I could use it for reprogramming some of the larger DAC chips on some of the arcade boards, but I didn't wind up getting the large size. In fact, I don't know if they have any larger ones than this or not, but I did wind up getting a couple of those. I also wound up getting this adapter here. Now what's nice about this adapter is it allows you to program larger EPROMs, for example the EPROMs that you'll find on the CPS2 hardware. So anybody who has a CPS2 game, or is thinking about getting a CPS2 game, one of the worst things about them is those batteries, the suicide batteries in them. And once the game board dies, or the battery power dies, the board dies. So the only other way to get it running is to Phoenix it. And in order to Phoenix it, nowadays you either have to buy the Phoenix ROMs, and you have to buy them online, or if you can find the files, you can burn them yourself. And what's nice about this one is it actually has a long enough adapter here to where I can just put in the old EEPROM. I can program it and then slap it in the board. What I have to do as well with this one though is I have to erase the old EEPROMs, and in order to do that I wound up picking up this. And this is something that I got on the Japanese auctions. As you can see here, it runs off 100 volts. Now I've been looking for an EEPROM eraser for a long time, and unfortunately I've never been able to find one that runs on 100 volts. This is more of an industrial size one. This is a really solid built machine here, and usually a very expensive one, but I got it for a very reasonable price. And the main reason for that is because the bulbs, these UV bulbs that are in it, I don't know if you can see the filament or not, but these are extremely old. Like the caps here, you can see the caps are all wobbly. I mean, these things have been sitting for a long time. So what I did is I got online here. I was originally going to make this video once I got everything all squared away and got everything working, but I figured I'd make this now. And that is, I got online and I took and tried to hunt down these bulbs for it. And I wound up getting the bulbs, or I wound up ordering the bulbs. Hopefully they'll come in, but those bulbs are extremely expensive. Anytime you look into getting an EEPROM eraser, I guess if you're in the US, or if you're, you know, somewhere in a European country, you can probably get them for a reasonable price. You can get EEPROM erasers. You can get some of the smaller ones made in China for like $20 or $30. But generally, this kind of machine here, you know, running off of 100 volts. This one here is retail listed at about $400. So even though it doesn't look the prettiest, it's still a pretty heavy-duty monster. And, you know, I wound up getting this, and the main reason for that is just because of the voltage. But these bulbs here, these ones cost me, I believe, about $30 a bulb online, and then the shipping is going to cost me about another $40. So I wound up ordering those, but I've seen these bulbs listed as much as $70. So these UV bulbs are pretty expensive. And if you guys get a chance, I would definitely recommend picking up one of the ones made in China, as they're only, you know, $20 or $30. Some of them are even less than that. Some of them are $15. But anytime you're going to be working with EPROMs, you're going to need one of these EEPROM programmers, but you're going to also need an eraser for it. And with regular EEPROMs, these are the ones with the window on the inside of the chip. The EEPROMs are the ones that are basically just you know, they're solid, they don't have any window in them, and those can be erased easily by the machine itself. But figured I'd share this with you guys here, show you what other stuff I have here and what other plans I have for some of my arcade boards. Got a couple of boards that I really want to try and fix up, but in order to do that, I'm going to need this, and I'm also going to need this. But in order to get this thing running, I got to wait for those bulbs to come in so I can get everything running. Another thing, if you guys are interested in getting one of these EEPROM programmers, if you notice on the side here, it has a slot for a power jack, and on the bottom here it'll actually say that you need was it DC 9 volts and at least 200 milliamps. If you get a regular power supply, for example, here's one from a megadrive, and this megadrive on the back here, this power supply, I don't think it's going to focus so well, but this thing actually says that it will put out 9 volts at 1.2 amps. So as long as you have the voltage correct and you have at least 200 milliamps, if you have more, that's great. It doesn't matter. You'll be all set. But if you have less than 200 milliamps, you're gonna fry something. So what I did is I took a regular megadrive, you know, AC adapter, and I went down to the hardware store and I picked up this. And it's just a regular end that I could find that will plug into this, and it'll plug into the back here, if I can find it. Because the megadrive one, even though it might, I don't know if I didn't even check it, the megadrive one might just plug right in here. Yeah, it does. But the problem with the megadrive, the AC adapter, if you just plug this thing in the way it is, you can see here that the outer casing is positive and the middle pin is negative. If you look on the back of the programmer here, you can see the outer casing is negative and the pin is positive. So if you just plug this directly in, you'll fry the unit. So what I did is I reversed it. So this is really just a cheap job here, but soldered the connectors to the end in case I ever wanted to reuse this plug. Just slightly soldered those to the end there, and I reversed the polarity. So now this is perfectly set up to work with this programmer. And you will need one of these adapters in order to write to the EEPROMs, because this thing draws a lot of power and it needs that extra power, and it won't get that power here from just the USB cable. So you definitely have to have something like this, but you can definitely customize it yourself by just using some of your gaming supplies, you know, like a gaming PC adapter or AC adapter. It works out great. Once I get everything squared away and once I get everything all set up, I'll be able to rewrite some of the larger EEPROMs, like once again, like I had mentioned, for the CPS2 hardware, and I should be able to do other EEPROMs. For example, if some of my boards have graphic errors or anything like that, I can rewrite those using these adapters and this setup. But one other thing that was pretty cool that actually Supreme Judge had mentioned, and that is with some of the boards that I have, the boards that I don't know anything about, like what the name is on them and what kind of game it is, you can actually plug those EEPROMs in here. And he had mentioned that there's a website that you can go to and check the EEPROMs and run those against the EEPROMs that are listed on that site, and you can find out what game it is just by checking the EEPROM. So it's another cool thing about having one of these USB EEPROM programmers, is that you can apparently find out what game you have if you're not really sure what you got in your collection. So nonetheless, here, just want to make this small little video here to show you what I got and let you guys know if you are interested in picking up one of these EEPROM programmers. They are going to definitely help you out in the long run, especially if you get into some of the harder arcade setups where you definitely are going to run into trouble with the arcade boards, and you're definitely going to want to have something like this so you don't wind up spending a ton of money trying to buy parts online. So anyway, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching.